Maybe they're covering up the fact that there have been a lot more deaths, and we're seeing some indicators of this, and that it's mutated, and the government knows this, and that's why they're starting to lock things down. So we have to look at every angle, and I'll be doing that with other guests throughout the show today, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know it's too early to tell, Doctor, but, I mean, clearly they're lying about it only being 2,000 people sick, or...
Alex, it may be that they're saying there's 2,000 people sick because those 2,000 people were the ones that were sick enough to seek medical care. You know, there may be millions of other people, just like when the bird flu was happening back in 2006, that there were tens of thousands, maybe even millions of people that were sick, but not sick enough to go to the doctor and get care. And so when you don't really know what that denominator is, you can't predict what a death rate's going to be. If the numerator's, 200 and the bottom denominator is a million, well, then it's insignificant.
What about Mexican doctors telling the BBC and myself that it's at least 20 dead per hospital in and around Mexico City, and that the number was way above 200 as of Saturday? Again,
it's a very skewed perspective. It's, they're looking at the sickest of the sick who've made it to the hospital and probably came to the hospital because they were so sick they couldn't stay at home anymore. And so I'm sure that the numbers they're saying may be in the realm of true, but I think that's a skewed perspective.
Okay, why would the government say there haven't been that many deaths, it's not a big deal, but then do the opposite and lock everything down and, cancel all public events?
Because what they're doing is they're following CDC guidelines and recommendations down here. And they actually even said that when they canceled the conference today, that the CDC guidelines are to stay away from crowded spaces, be congregated all together, and so that's what they're kind of doing. So they're following the American medical hype, and because they don't want to be accused of not doing that and then causing more of a problem. So they are playing the game safe and going on the side of safety and following what the rules are being set by the CDC.
And I guess if they're going to ban all public events, they can't selectively enforce it. So this must be devastating the tourism industry down in Mexico and business itself.
Oh, gosh. Yes, devastating it. It's devastating it. The first devastation was the irresponsible reporting of the violence. Yes, it was happening, but it was not responsibly being reported. During that time, I was actually living in Rosarito and could have told you a whole lot about that. And now what they're doing is even places like Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and Acapulco, which aren't anywhere near any of these places, all these people are loading up and they're packing up their luggage and going home for no good reason.
Right,
and then they're talking about shutting down, different airlines. They're saying they're going to do checks at the border, and it's like, holy cow!
That's my next question.
I think it's the people that sit in the backdrop and laugh at this and go, "Gosh, it doesn't take a whole lot to just push a button and make all them little sheep just run around like chickens without a head."
Absolutely. What do you think of Napolitano, the Homeland Security head, saying, "Well, this." She said, even if this goes away in a few weeks, there's going to be another worse one soon. How could she make statements like that? I mean, they're clearly loving the fear and the control and using this to sell their martial law grid.
Absolutely, Alex. And I'll tell you, back in 2005 and 2006, I went to the first, second, and third national bird flu summits held in Washington, D.C. to get firsthand information, take my own notes, and to correlate it with what I had put in my book, Foul. And they were saying then, this is not a matter of if, it's when. It's when this is going to happen. They were saying it point blank language. I actually wrote several articles about it on the internet. So they've known this was coming. They've known this is coming. And I can't say that it's because they were just sort of doing it based on epidemiological or statistics. I mean, they're privy to stuff that you and I will never know. And for them to be so bold and to continue to train FEMA, Homeland Security, local departments, having vaccination drills around the country, I mean, this has been planned and in the works at least since 2005 and God knows how long before that.
And Dr. Tenpenny, medical doctor, reporting to us from Monterrey, Mexico, international respected expert on this. Dr. Tenpenny, in Mexico right now, are you saying that the available evidence shows that this is leaning towards a genetically engineered virus, or is this just them hyping a convenient virus for something they know they're going to release in the future?
I think it's too early to say. I do think that there's going to be something that's going to be released, or it's going to be shown that this is a really unusual virus. The evidence of saying it's swine, bird flu, and human. Now, they just had a report down here just not too long ago, maybe in the last couple of hours, saying that's kind of ridiculous. This is just an aggressive human virus. It's silly to be calling it swine flu, and I have to agree with that. And so I think that there's a lot of hype that's going on, a lot of hysteria. It never ceases to amaze me.
Exactly. I mean, there are hundreds a day dying of TB alone in Mexico City and the common cold. So why are they hyping it now?
And thousands dying in car accidents and people falling out of second-story windows, and there's all sorts of. So
the question is, why are they hyping it now? And then Napolitano say, "Oh, get ready, something big's guaranteed to come soon." And now they're on the news saying, "Oh, it's going to mutate."
Remember, Alex, the U.S. government in 2005 invested $7.1 billion into new vaccine development. So maybe this is a return on investment.
This is about BioShield. This is about BioShield.
With BioShield, we've got to start using all those vaccines that we just put into place. And Division E, remember Division E that came out at the end of 2006? It was tacked on at the end of the Defense Appropriation Bill that basically says that all they have to do is whisper that this may be bioterrorism, and the pharmaceutical companies have 100% protection and liability for any drug, any vaccine, anything that comes out to be used against.
So this is about an industry that literally bankrolls the government and the media with campaign contributions and advertisement. Half the nightly news ads are drug ads. This is just about more of their fear-mongering to then sell everybody getting 2, 3, 4 deadly flu shots a year that actually debilitate your immune system and in many cases give you the flu.
And also use Tamiflu. Now, Tamiflu, I documented in the book that the more you use Tamiflu, the more resistance the viruses come. That by the 4th dose of Tamiflu, a garden variety influenza virus can be up to 10 million times more resistant to Tamiflu than it was before it was exposed to the drug.
So it's making them resistant just like bacteria with antibiotics.
Exactly.
Okay, we've got a lot of phone calls here coming up, but in the final segment, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, I want to give out your website for folks that want to learn more. I did read your excellent report this morning. People should see that. Swine flu, the new bird flu. And we do have calls from Mexico, calls from Texas. We will be getting to those, but I wanted to talk to you about the control grid. It's not a rumor about FEMA mass graves. We have the documents, so I want to mention those when we get back. Is this a beta test to train everybody how to go along and follow orders for the real crisis that's coming? Why is Europe testing all Americans and Mexican flights coming in? Why are they banning imports from the U.S. and Mexico? This is becoming a worldwide hype fest. Why is this flu coming out of the Western Hemisphere and not out of Asia as it normally does?
Finally in the news this evening, it's being reported that cyber spies from Russia and China have now penetrated our power grid. Even as energy experts are reporting that each summer we get closer and closer to the limits of our nation's power grid, some say that this summer's demand for electrical power may finally push the grid over its edge, creating a cascade of power outages across the country, putting us all in the dark.
Are you prepared for the next round of storm-related outages or government-created blackouts? Have you ever thought about taking steps to get off the grid and generate your own private supply of electrical power? If so, this will be the most important information you have ever heard. Solar-powered generators are finally available. They have no moving parts to wear out or break and require absolutely no gas whatsoever. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Check out mysolarbackup.com before you lose your power.
In the New World Order's war against humanity, Barack Obama is the tip of the spear.
We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
The Obama deception completely destroys the myth that Obama is working for the best interest of the American people.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascism.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com. or download it in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back.
Did you know many vitamin and mineral supplements on the market are made from rocks and ground up shells? Think about that. Would you swallow a handful of shells you found at the beach? Our body wasn't designed to digest rocks and shells. Hello, my name is Dr. David Friedman, formulator of Choose for Health, a delicious-tasting chewable dietary supplement derived from 16 fruits, vegetables, and antioxidants. Unlike hard-to-digest pills, Choose for Health is a convenient chewable which allows for better digestion. The choice is yours. Swallow rocks and shells to supplement your diet or a natural chewable product you can better digest. Choose for Health, the world's first superfruit, sea vegetable, antioxidant chewable. Whole food nutrition, not rocks and shells. 1-800-210-1922. Call now and receive a free copy of my best-selling CD, America's Unbalanced Diet. 1-800-210-1922. Or go to orderchoose.com.